ஐந்து கரத்தினை யானை முகத்தினை இந்தின் இளம்பிறை போலும் யாற்றினை நந்தி மகிழ்ச்சினை ஞான குழந்தினை புந்தியல் வாய்த்தறி போற்றுகின்றேனே. ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். எல்லாம் வல்ல இறைவா, இந்த 18ஆம் தேதி பங்குனி மாசம் நவமி திதி சனிக்கிழமை சர்ச்சட் சில்வர்கிளைன் கிராமம் உங்களோட பிள்ளை காலம் சென்ற கிறிஸ்டனுக்காக இந்த துக்கம் பூஜை பண்றோம். இந்த பூஜை ஒரு கஷ்டம் இல்லாத பக்தியோடு செய்ய வேண்டும். ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.
Paul Barracks, please. Paul Barracks.
ஈசனாடி போற்றி, எந்தாதி போற்றி, தேசனாடி போற்றி, சிவன் சேவாதி போற்றி, நெய்யத்த நின்றடி போற்றி, மாயா திருப்பு அறுக்கும் மனுநடி போற்றி, சீரார் பெருந்திரையம் தேவனடி போற்றி, ஆறாவது இன்பம் அருள் மாமனை போற்றி போற்றி. எல்லாம் வல்ல இறைவா, இந்த 28ஆம் தேதி பங்குனி மாசம் 11ஆம் தேதி ஏப்ரல் மாசம் திருவோணம் நட்சத்திரம் நவமி திதி சனிக்கிழமை காலை நேரம் சிவகன் கிராமம் உங்கள் பிள்ளை காலம் சேர்ந்த கிறிஸ்டின் முன்சாமி அறிந்தும் அறியாமல் தெரிந்தும் தெரியாமல் தப்ப அவர்கள் செய்திருந்தால் அவர்களை மன்னித்து அந்த நற்கதியை முற்றும் சாந்தம் தர வேண்டும். மேலும் இந்த முன்சாமி குடும்பம் அறிந்தும் அறியாமல் தெரிந்தும் தெரியாமல் தப்ப அவர்கள் செய்திருந்தால் அவர்களை மன்னித்து அருள்வாய். ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.
there's enough space in the front corner.
My humble vanakkam to your family. My humble vanakkam to your family. Could we ask you to please take your seats? Please take your seats. We'll advise you when you can vote, go forth and view the face. Please could I ask you to take your seats? Right now it's just the immediate family and the family that will be viewing. My humble vanakkams, dear family. My apologies. Please could you kindly take your seats? At present, it's just the immediate family and a very, very close family that are going to be viewing. My apologies for that. We were obviously just playing the Abhanasa Pattam. We'll explain the significance behind that right now. My humble vanakkams, prayer namaskaram's, om sairams, and good afternoon, dear family, friends, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the community. Once again, could I kindly request that we stop viewing? Could I kindly request you all please take your seats? If you can find a seat, please take a seat. We are only opening this up to the immediate family at present. Please, could I kindly request that you take your seats? I understand that Appa is a member of the community. He served the community selflessly for decades and decades. As such, at this last moments that we have with him, the family would obviously like to take this time and spend with him as well. So could I kindly request that you please take your seats? Once again, my humble vanakkams, prayer namaskaram's, om sairams, and good afternoon, dear family and friends. Today, the Kisten family gathers on a rather somber occasion as they bid farewell to their Appa John Kisten. Now, he was known as Appa to each and every one of us, so either Uncle John. And as we all know, Appa John was a very quiet man. He's known for his calm disposition and his discipline. As per such, we would like to follow that today as we pay our last respects to him. Now, aside from being a member of the community and giving his life to the community, we all know that Appa was an ardent Murugan Bhakta. And when I mean ardent Murugan Bhakta, that he would be fasting 5 days a week, and including on Saturday and Sunday, in case somebody asked him to come and do a prayer. And if it was for Lord Muruga, he slept on the floor, he observed a dry fast during the day, and only broke his fast when he went to the temple. As such, for a man that dedicates his life to Lord Muruga, we'll be asking Lord Muruga to grace us this afternoon, or this morning and going into the afternoon, and to bless this proceedings and take Appa very, very gracefully. As such, you heard the Avanasa Patta now, rendered by Shri Magendran Balakistan, the son of the Chaturth Magazine Barracks Temple. He's also going to be reading another song now that Appa also dearly loved. Could I kindly request we maintain silence during this time? Please be seated. I will instruct you when you can come through and you can observe the face. That dear voice of Aranagiri Selva Shri Kisten with that Tirupur entitled Mana Sikova. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to bear and have patience with me today. We are going to be joined by multiple speakers. As you know, Appa was a man of the community, and they will be addressing you on their various different experiences with Appa. So I do ask you to bear and have patience with us this afternoon. For those of you that would like to now come forth and view the face, I ask that as you do, you please make a single file line down the aisle here, and you come around the right of the casket, and you can be to the family. This afternoon's proceedings and the funeral is being conducted by Guru KBA. I now hand you over to our Chatrit Shri Barracks Vishnu Temple, and as well as Nelson Bunyan, Guru Nelson Bunyan, who will be invoking the blessings of the Devas today. I kindly request that as you make your way to the front, I have noticed that we do have a lamp at the front and we have multiple people coming through with shoes. Appa is, as you know, a respected elder, and I think it's only important that we respect the lamp that is here. If you can possibly take off your shoes, that would be highly appreciated. There is a significant queue on the outside, I'm advised, as expected. So please, as you do come through and pay your respects to the family, please do so as expeditiously as possible. I do apologize for that. It's just that we do have quite a large crowd that's currently outside the hall as well, that's making their way in. If you are on the list as one of the speakers to speak this afternoon, please could you make your way to the front. If you are on the list as one of the speakers for this afternoon, please could you make your way to the front. Thank you.
Wrote the song here and introduced it in our service. So we'll take the song to Appa. Center Vadi Vermogodan.
Thank you.
we know, Appa John dedicated his life and time to the propagation of the Tamil language. Like our next speaker, he ardently went out and spoke on the beauty of the Tamil language and, of course, getting young people involved within it. As per that, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me pleasure to welcome to the podium Guru KBA, who will now pass his dedication to Appa John Kisten.
மாண்புமிக்க நிகழ்ச்சி தலைவர் செந்தில் அவர்களுக்கும் இன்னிசை கச்சேரி கூட்டத்தில் சேர்ந்திருக்கும் இசை வல்லுனர் மரணமடைந்த காலம் சென்ற பிளேக்ஸ் முனியனுடைய மகனாகிய நெல்சன் முனியன், மேலும் இக்கூட்டத்தில் சேர்ந்திருக்கும் இசை வல்லுநர்களுக்கும் மிக துக்கத்தில் இருக்கின்ற மரணமடைந்த பெரியார் ஐயா ஜான் கிஸ்டனுடைய குடும்பத்தினருக்கும் பேரன்புடைய பெரியோர்களுக்கும் அன்பின் அடைக்கலமான தாய்மார்களுக்கும் குழந்தை செல்வங்களுக்கும் என் உள்ளம் கனித பாசம் நிறைந்த வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். My humble வணக்கம், ladies and gentlemen, dear brothers and sisters. We are all saddened by the passing of Ayya John Kisten, but at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, we are enjoined to remember with pride, with Tamil Perumai. We are enjoined to remember with pride the significant contribution made by Ayya in terms of the propagation of the Tamil language. Saiva Samayam. Periyar John Kisten அவர்கள் நம் சைவ சமயத்திற்கு, நம் தமிழ் பண்பாட்டுக்கும், நம் தமிழ் மொழிக்கும் மிகவும் பாடுபட்டவர். He really he walked the talk when it came to the propagation of Saivism. And when it came to the words Anbe Sivam, Sivame Anbu, those were the words that Ayya used to utter quite eloquently and very, very vociferously whenever one had the opportunity to speak to a great individual like this. Anbrale, Tamilukku Thundu Seivavar Sagadilla. Those who contribute the way Ayya has contributed in his own inimitable fashion do not really die in the hearts and minds of people. Tamilukku Thundu Seivavar Sagadilla. And as Sendil mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, he was indeed very, very proud of the Tamil language. As Subramani Bharatiyar once said, Yam arindam mozhigalile Tamil mozhiyai pol inidavadi yengam kan. And that Tamil Perumai, one could feel it in Ayya John Kisten when he spoke. But at the same time, when one looks at the character of this great man, we are reminded of a word, a sentence from one of the Padikams by Sundaramurthy Nayanar, who said, Thillaival, Andarartham Adiyarkan Adiye, O Lord Namashivaya, allow me to at least be a servant to those who serve you. O Lord Namashivaya, at least allow me to be a servant to those who serve you. And whenever you met this gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, you always got that humility that came across, that simplicity, that honesty. அன்புலே, இன்று நாம் அனைவரும் ஒன்றாக கூடி சைவ சமய குருவாகவும் எங்கள் சமயத்தின் கூனூராகவும் விளங்கிய குரு ஜான் கிஸ்டன் அவர்களை நினைவு கூறுகின்றோம். Dear brothers and sisters, friends, ladies and gentlemen, today we gather to honor, to remember, to celebrate and to pay our last respects to a spiritual guide, a Tamil priest, and a devoted senior of our community. Guru John Kisten, Ayya, dedicated his life to the service of our faith and the upliftment of all who crossed his path. And he did this with the utmost humility. And when Ayya said, if you can't help somebody, at least don't hurt them, he really meant those words, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, whenever I met him, he never failed to say, Anbe Sivam, Sivame Anbu. His voice carried the sacred hymns, and his hands performed the prayers with deep devotion and sincerity. Ayya dedicated his life to our faith, to our Tamil Panpat, through his prayer services, through the discourses that he held at the temple, through the performance of temple rituals and teachings. He brought comfort to the troubled. He brought guidance to those who were feeling lost, and strength to the faithful. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a number of speakers who will speak about this luminary who takes leave of us today, this great person. And again, I want to say, though we mourn his passing, we also celebrate a life lived in devotion and service. His legacy will continue through the traditions he upheld and the lives he inspired. And to each and every one of us, he was more than just an officiating priest. To each and every one of us, Ayya, John Kisten, was more than just an officiating priest. He was a teacher, a mentor, a guide, and a humble servant of Yellambalang Arupperum Jod, Taniverum Karuning Aldavar, Tirusattumbalan Nadarada Perumal. Even beyond the temple, his kindness and compassion, ladies and gentlemen, touched every single life that he had the opportunity of touching. If you could close my eyes, as I did mention to you, ladies and gentlemen, there will be a number of speakers who will be shedding light on the life and times of Periyar, Ayya John Kisten, and even you, as you are sitting here, you will be reminiscing fondly, and of course you will be remembering nostalgically your association with this great soul. If you could join me in the Kadasi Prarthana. Om Ulagal Yellam Uradnagodakkan Ariyavan Nilavulaviya Nirmani Vediyan Alagat Jodiyavan Ambadathil Malarshilum Madi Varthi Vanangu. பாரெங்கும் நிறைந்திருக்கும் எங்கள் பிதாவே, பாவங்களை எல்லாம் போக்கும் எங்கள் தெய்வமே, உலகத்தில் எங்களுடன் இருந்து இன்பத் துன்பங்களை அனுபவித்து எங்களை விட்டு பரலோகம் சென்று விட்டு காலம் சென்ற எங்களுடைய அருமையுள்ள பெரியார் ஜான் கிறிஸ்டன் அவர்களுக்கு நாங்கள் மிகவும் துக்கப்படுகின்றோம், அனுதாபப்படுகின்றோம். அவ்வுயர்ந்த கலியுகத்தில் இந்த மண் உலகத்தில் வாழும் காலத்தில் அறிந்தும் அறியாமலும் தெரிந்தும் தெரியாமலும் செய்த பாவங்களை மன்னித்து ஆத்மாவுக்கு நற்கதியம் சாந்தியம் அருள்படி பிரார்த்தனை செய்கின்றோம். தேவாதி தேவனே, தங்கள் திருவடிகளுக்கு பன்முறை வந்தனம் வந்தனம் வந்தனம். He came, he served with distinction, ladies and gentlemen. Only a life lived for others is a life that is truly worthwhile. What we do for ourselves dies with us, but what we do for others lives on as a legacy. And this is a legacy that our Arumayulla Periyar John Kisten has left behind. And we should take up the cudgels and move forward with faith and with confidence and continue the good work that he was doing. Mikka Nandri.
Mikka Nandri Appa for those kind words. We now have Mr. Tiny Kisten from the Railway Barracks Remembrance Association, who will now pass his dedication to Appa John Kisten.
Members of the bereaved family, it is indeed a very, very sad day. Today, I'm reminded of a very old African proverb. That African proverb goes like this. It says, "The rooster may belong to your house, but his crow belongs to the village." It is your rooster, but his crow belongs to all of us. Uncle John may belong to the Kisten family, but he belonged to all of us. He is one of us. You know, I had a very, very distinct pleasure and privilege of meeting him so many times on different bases. I recall that he reminded me that my father once played for a team called Mary Boys in Barracks, in magazine Barracks. And he also told me that my father played for magazine Rangers. It's something which I forgot about. And he also said that whenever my father played, he always followed my father. And I'm so much richer and privileged knowing that I was with him, sat with him, spoke to him, and learned of all the wisdom that he had to offer. I remember 13th December last year at the Arena Park Hall where we had our annual function, and Periyar John Kisten was introduced, and he was given an ovation. Every member stood up and gave him an ovation. And the reason why they did that is not because he was present. It was done because of his contribution of building bridges, of spreading love, spreading friendship to one and all. Today, on behalf of the Railway Barracks Remembrance Association, I'd like to pay a short tribute. The Railway Barracks Remembrance Organization honors the memory of John Kisten, a beloved cultural leader whose life was a testament to humility and love. Born and raised in magazine Barracks, he carried the values of his upbringing into every corner of our shared community, becoming a source of guidance and direction for all who looked upon him. Guru Kisten was a dedicated steward of our heritage, tirelessly working for the propagation of the Tamil culture. Through his wisdom and leadership, he ensured that our mother tongue, our music, our sacred traditions continued to flourish. He was not just a teacher, but a living embodiment of our cultural identity, passing the flame of our ancestors to the youth so that it might never be extinguished. His leadership was most deeply felt in the quiet, sacred moments of his family life. Guru Kisten was a constant and comforting presence, available to assist families with book readings, spiritual ceremonies, whether it was welcoming a new life during birth celebrations or providing solace and prayer during the passing away ceremonies. He walked alongside with us. He ensured that these rites of passage were conducted with beauty, dignity in our Tamil heritage. Though rooted in magazine Barracks, Guru Kisten recognizes the profound commonality between his own and the Railway Barracks community. He understood our communities shared more than just a history, we shared soul. Through his service, he acted as a bridge, weaving together the fabric of our two neighborhoods, which threads through with compassion and cultural pride. The Railway Barracks Remembrance Association acknowledges that while Guru Kisten passed on, his influence is woven into our hearts of our community. His spirit remains with us in every ceremony we perform and every tradition we uphold. We say with one voice, his spirit will always remain in our hearts. And finally, I want to say this, that we all must celebrate the fact that we knew John Kisten. We need to celebrate that. He came into our lives. And today, he's going to a far, far better place than he's ever been before. Thank you very, very much for listening. Thank you.
Dear family and friends that are presently here, please could I request that we do observe silence whilst we are in the auditorium. At the end of the day, the funeral is a prayer, and we all know Appa John was known for his discipline, for his decorum, and his very calm disposition. Can I kindly request that we please maintain silence whilst we are in the hall? I know that a lot of you are seeing each other after a very long time, but please could we respect the bhajans that are being rendered here, as they are in veneration of the various deities, and they are on the list of Appa John's favorite songs. Ladies and gentlemen, we also are blessed with the presence of Minister Les Governor, who is currently in our presence. He will be also passing, obviously, his dedication to Appa John. His family and Appa John go back many, many decades and share a very, very close bond, not just one of a temple, but also a personal one. Appa, Les Governor.
Thank you very much, Program Director, for your kind words of introduction. You know, when I look at the crowds of people that are in this auditorium, as well as those that are still outside, it is a very fitting tribute that we have all remembered the wonderful work that Uncle John has been doing with us over the years. And the fact that you're all here today is a very resounding acknowledgement of thanks and appreciation for this wonderful soul that we were so blessed with. So I want to greet you this afternoon. Vanakkam, Namaste, Om Sai Ram. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As we gather here today, our community is the poor. And there is a huge void in the Hindu community, because a true Guru has just fallen. Firstly, allow me to offer my sincere condolences to Appa John's immediate family and his extended family, which is the community of Chatsworth and the greater Devon area. Why I say extended family? Because at every service that we used to have, Uncle John will not fail to mention that the congregation is his extended family. And you all that I see here today are indeed his extended family. So I offer my condolences to every one of you. You know, it is strange how we expect certain people to be ever present, to live lives that we think will go on and on. We expect them to be omnipresent in our community and ever ready to provide their wisdom and their guidance. One such person is this gracious soul that we have gathered today to pay respects and to bid farewell, and that is Appa John Kisten. There are many gurus amongst our community these days, and no one will disagree with me when I say today we are bidding farewell to a true guru in every sense of the word. Yet he never claimed that title. He never asked us to address him as Guru John Kisten. He was always Appa John Kisten. A humble soul, a gentle personality, and a walking library of knowledge and wisdom. Appa John was a true Hindu in every sense of the word. He was a Tamil Bhakta, a passionate devotee of Lord Murugan. I must confess that over 50 years ago, when I attended the first Monday service at the magazine Barracks Shri Vishnu temple, with Appa John Kisten conducting the service, what I learned from him on that first day made me go back to service every Monday. He didn't just introduce songs and ask us to sing. He explained the meaning of every song. And those of you sitting here and attended his services will know that that is what he used to do. He would explain the meaning of every song. He explained the significance of every prayer that we used to conduct. He provided meaningful context to our various rituals. Even when he conducted prayers, he was painstakingly attentive to how he prepared and how he was ever ready to explain what he was doing. He would do this not only because he was blessed with wisdom, but he went to great lengths to equip himself with knowledge and be ready to impart that knowledge to whoever wanted to listen. No matter how small a person was, no matter how elderly a person was, if they had a question about our religion, our culture, our traditions, Appa John would be willing to explain, and he would take his time to explain. He possessed an amazing quality of being able to relate with people of all ages and all walks of life, because he was such an humble soul. He gave respect and he led by example. He exuded humility by his quiet demeanor and patience as he listened to people and offered sage advice. He also possessed an amazing sense of humor, which he displayed by using appropriate anecdotes even when conducting a service or prayer. I remember once, a young man, Uncle John was doing his car prayer, and the young man asked him, "Uncle John, you pray for everybody's new car, but you don't have a car. You don't feel bad?" And Uncle John looked at him for a while. And Uncle John wasn't that person who will respond immediately. He looked at him for a while. He carried on putting the dots on the wheel caps and everything. And then he asked this young man, he said, "How many cars do you have?" So this young man said, "I've got one car." Uncle John said, "You have to sit in that car every day. If I want to go in a new car every day, all I have to do is just phone one of these people who I do prayers for, and they'll come and pick me up. So every day I'll go in a new car." That is the kind of wisdom that he had. But that anecdote made so much of sense that you do not look down upon anybody because of what they don't have. That was Uncle John. He possessed this amazing quality of being able to relate to anybody and everybody. These are the qualities that endeared him to so many people and earned him respect. And that respect is evident by the hundreds of people that are here today. And there are long lines outside of people still waiting to come in. He loved to quote appropriate verses from our various scriptures, with the Tirukkural being one of his favorites. So as I conclude, I will quote one of his favorite verses, verse 127 from the Tirukkural, which says, and I quote, "Even if nothing else can be restrained, one must control his tongue. If not, he will suffer because of the harm inflicted by his words." Unquote. Uncle John used to always tell us in our services, he said, "You have the most potent weapon you carry around with you all the time, and that is your tongue." And he'll always say, "Do not respond in anger. Think about what you want to say, measure your words, and then speak." And Uncle John was that kind of person. He led his life by the teachings of our Holy Scriptures. As we say farewell to this humble soul, let us try to emulate him. In some way, let us live our lives by his teachings, and let us keep his memory alive. Not that all his wisdom and leadership has gone. We are now left the poorer, because his wisdom and his knowledge was something that we always sought after. But the question that I now am left with, and I'm sure every one of us here are left with, The question is, who do we tend to now? Who do we have left in our community that we can tend to when we have a prayer to do, when there's a death in the family, when there's a ceremony, when we buy a new car, when we move into a new house, when we start a new business? Because it was always phone Uncle John. And he was ever ready, no matter time or day, no matter how ill he was. All it took was a phone call to him and a request for help, and he was there. So the question will remain with us for a long time. Who do we tend to now? Our community has been left so much the poorer by the demise of this wonderful, humble soul. So all we can do now is to pray that you will rest in eternal peace. And we say, Appa John, go in peace. You've done your share on earth. You have served all of us so well. May your divine soul attain moksha at the feet of our Lord Namah Shivaya. Vikanandri, Uncle John, go in peace. Vanakkam, thank you.
Thank you for that dedication. We now call to the front Mr. Vernon Gowden of the Chatsworth Magazine Barracks Shri Vishnu Temple, who will be passing a dedication on behalf of the executive and the devotees of that alaya.
My humble vanakkams, namaskaram, namaste to all present. Today I read for you a tribute on behalf of the Chatsworth Magazine Barracks Shri Vishnu Temple, coming from our chairperson, Mr. Henry Soleil. And I quote, "It is with a deep sense of loss and heartfelt reverence that we bid farewell to Mr. John Kisten, a true elder of our temple and a guiding light within the Chatsworth Magazine Barracks Shri Vishnu Temple community, and more especially the temple committee. Uncle John was not merely a devotee, he was the very glue that held our spiritual family together. In every gathering, every prayer, and in every sacred observance, his presence was a constant reassurance that our traditions were alive, meaningful and anchored in sincerity. One could always rely on seeing him there, quietly present, yet profoundly impactful. For me personally, this loss carries an even deeper meaning. Uncle John was a contemporary of my late father, Mr. G.M. Soleil, Anshi teacher. Both of them and many others that are present and some that have passed on emerged from the historic community of the magazine Barracks, an environment that shaped their values, strengthened their spirituality, and instilled in them a lifelong commitment to service. Together, in their own unique ways, they contributed immensely to meeting the spiritual needs of our community. They were part of a generation that did not simply inherit faith, they nurtured it, protected it, and passed it on with great responsibility. Uncle John was like a steady thread woven through the fabric of our temple, binding people of different ages, backgrounds, and perspectives into one harmonious community. His ability to connect with everyone, young and old, was truly remarkable. He did not differentiate, he embraced. He did not judge, he guided. What stood out most about Uncle John was his calm and composed nature. Nothing seemed to disturb him. In moments where others might have faltered and reacted with frustration, he remained grounded, thoughtful, and measured. He approached every challenge not as a problem, but as an opportunity to find a meaningful and lasting solution for the betterment of the community. His wisdom was not loud, but was powerful. It was reflected in his actions, in his words of counsel, and in the quiet strength he carried. When issues arose, Uncle John became the voice of reason, bringing people together, restoring understanding, and ensuring that harmony prevailed. The sacred teachings remind us that the true greatness lies in humility, patience, and service to others. Uncle John embodied all these virtues effortlessly. His life was a living example of what it means to serve without expectation, to lead without authority, and to inspire without seeking recognition. His presence at every religious event elevated the spiritual atmosphere. It was as though his very being carried a sense of sanctity, reminding us that devotion is not only in rituals, but in how we live, how we treat others, and how we contribute to the collective good. As we reflect on his life, we recognize that Uncle John has left us with a powerful legacy, a legacy of unity, peace, and unwavering commitment to community. Though his physical presence will no longer grace our temple, his spirit will continue to guide us in every prayer, every decision, and every step we take forward as a community. We will miss him deeply, but we will honor him the best by living the values he so effortlessly demonstrated. May his noble soul attain eternal peace. Om Shanti. Unquote. I would just like to also add, on behalf of the chairperson, the executive committee, and the members of the Chatsworth Magazine Barracks Temple, we would like to pass our deepest condolences to the bereaved family, to the immediate friends and well-wishers that are here today. As the previous speaker had mentioned, Uncle John has always mentioned that the extended community is his family. So we would like to say to all of you that are here today, we also recognize the loss that we've shared. Ekanandri, Shanti, Shanti.
I just found out a few moments ago that Appa, John Kisten's brothers actually have two amazing sons, and that they are leading vocal exponents within South Africa, and obviously leaned to Appa for his knowledge not only on Tamil but also on music as well. Today they're going to be doing a dedication to Appa. They are Kugen Mutsami as well as Guru KBA and Vadivel.
Ulum சொற்றுனை வேதிய சோதிவானவ சொற்றுனை வேதிய சோதிவானவ ஒற்றுனை தேருளை பொருந்த கை தொழ சொற்றுனை வேதிய சோதிவானவ ஒற்றுனை தேருளை பொருந்த கை தொழ சொற்றுனை வேதிய சோதிவானவ ஒற்றுனை தேருளை பொருந்த கை தொழ கற்றுனை போதியும் கடலில் வாசியும் கற்றுனை போதியும் கடலில் வாசியும் நற்றுணையாவது நம சிவாயவே கற்றுனை போதியும் கடலில் வாசியும் நற்றுணையாவது நம சிவாயவே
Thank you so much, Guru KBA and Guru again, Mutsami. As mentioned earlier on, we do have multiple speakers this afternoon. One such speaker needs no introduction to the community. He is the Commissioner for the Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Rights. He is also on the multiple boards, including South FM and the Pan-South African Language Board as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I now call upon Dr. Marty Governor, who will now pay his dedication to Appa John Kisten. Both of them spent multiple hours discussing various different rites and religious customs as well.
A humble vanakkam to the bereaved family and to the extended family that's seated here. We gather here today, ladies and gentlemen, with very, very heavy hearts, yet with deep gratitude, to celebrate the life of a truly remarkable soul, Appa John Kisten. Uncle John was not just a member of the Chatsworth magazine Barracks Shri Vishnu temple. He was its heartbeat. His presence was constant, his devotion was unwavering, and his contribution immeasurable. In many ways, he was the glue that held our spiritual family together. There is a beautiful analogy that comes to mind when I think of Appa John. He was like a lamp in a temple, quietly burning, never drawing attention to itself, yet giving light to everyone around it. And just like that sacred lamp, even though the flame may no longer be visible to us, its light continues to guide us. What made Uncle John so special was not only his knowledge of spirituality, but the way he lived it. He embodied calmness, patience, and humility. Nothing seemed to disturb Uncle John. In moments where others may have reacted with anger or frustration, he responded with wisdom and composure. He had a unique ability to bring people together, young and old. Felt very comfortable in his presence. His interactions were always cordial, always accommodating, always filled with sincerity. He did not impose, he inspired. Even when challenges arose within the community, Uncle John never saw obstacles, he saw opportunities. Opportunities to heal, to unite, and to strengthen the bonds that hold us together. His solutions were never about winning an argument, but about preserving harmony. I remember fondly how he would always acknowledge the work that I was doing by bringing my attention to an article that he saw in the paper or he heard me on radio. His eyes was always filled with a glow of encouragement. But I would always say to him, it is people like you, Uncle John, who inspire us to serve. The wisdom he carried reminds me of a powerful verse from the Tirukkural. Kaka kasadara katpabai katrapin hirka adarku tega, which means learn perfectly and live by what you have learned. Uncle John did exactly that. He did not merely learn spirituality, he lived it every single day of his life. He was a proud son of Barracks, a community that shaped his values and nurtured his deep love for religion and culture. Alongside many of his contemporaries, he contributed selflessly to the spiritual upliftment of people, leaving behind a legacy that will endure all generations. His presence at every religious event elevated the atmosphere there. When Uncle John was there, you felt a sense of completeness, a sense that all will be well. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we mourn his passing, but more importantly, we celebrate a life that was rich in purpose, in service, and in love for humanity. Uncle John may no longer walk among us, but his values, his teachings, and his spirit will remain with us in every prayer, in every act of kindness, and in every effort to build unity in our community. The fact that this auditorium is full, even outside, is a clear indication it took one person to unite the community, and that is something that we need to live with today. Let us honor him, not just with words, but through our actions, by living the values he so beautifully demonstrated. May his soul, his noble soul, attain eternal moksha. Om Shanti.
We now call upon Mr. Tiny Kisten of the Railway Barracks Remembrance Association, who will also pass a dedication to Appa. My apologies, this is Mr. Morgan Munian, the Secretary of the Barracks Remembrance Association.
Family and friends, over the past few days, and even today, you've read a lot of tributes, and when you think of writing a tribute for a person like Appa John, the words are limitless and there's not enough pages. So I'm going to do what he said. Always have a clear mind, speak from your heart, and you will win, and Lord Durga will guide you. My name is Ka Mutin. I'm the secretary for the MBRA. I represent that association. Why it's important is because when people of Mixing Barracks were relocated to various areas, people were distributed to various sites, lost contact, and during the 90s, Appa John, with a team of insightful people, decided to form an association, and with the main aim to unite all the descendants of Magazine Barracks to create a legacy for future generations. And the motto was, grow our memories. Now, we often refer to Appa, we call him Appa. And in the Tamil culture, Appa is a person who is respected, person of strength. But we know that the mother in our families has a power. And it's not incidental that this is the auspicious month of the mother. And our mother has come forward to take Appa back. As a local historian and a cultural bearer of Maxine Barracks, Appa John provided valuable information and guidance and support to all the members and everybody he interacted with. When you met Appa John at any function, he engaged with you, whether you were Muslim or Christian or from any other faith, whether you were young or old. Conversation was always enlightening and he provided insight. But if you mentioned that you came from Magazine Barracks, then you had to allow for another half an hour to an hour, because he will then give you a cultural tour of Maxine Barracks. The modesty of Appa John. Let me give you an example. I think one of the other speakers, Les mentioned, he can travel in any but it's car, a good vehicle. A month ago, we were going to Phoenix to meet with Maxine Barracks descendants and ex-Maxine Barracks residents who live in the northern areas. We mentioned it to Appa John, and he said he's coming. We hired a taxi. It wasn't a grand vehicle, it was a minibus taxi. He was the last one to be picked up, and if you traveled in a minibus taxi, you will know if you enter the taxi last, you will have to go right in the back, you get a back seat. It happened to him and he walked right in the back to sit. We offered him seats in the front, but he said, no, Appa, I'm one of your guys. And he sat in the back with us. It's not that we didn't want him to be uncomfortable. We knew that the whole journey will be about Maxine Barracks. And we didn't know where he spoke about theaters, cultural shows, sports, swimming. But we learned, every time we engaged with him, we learned something new. You know, we heard of top people coming from Maxine Barracks, including him, a guru, a teacher, a mentor. We had politicians, activists, we had doctors, teachers, lawyers. But on the journey, it told us about lifesavers, people who could swim to the far tide line of the ocean. He taught us about fighters. He also told us about bad people, which we didn't know. In those years there were no radio and TV. But there was drama. And he said every time they found a dead body, they had the Kashmir area, it was our own soap opera. You didn't need TV. The stories went around and you waited every day for more news to find out what happened. And he said that was the entertainment. But the most interesting thing I learned was, and I agreed with him because I was 7 years old when I left Maxim Barracks. He said, Kana, Maxim Barracks, we walked barefoot. It's not that we didn't have shoes. People had the best of shoes, but the shoes were to go to work. You dressed up in your best outfit on Sundays. He said we walked barefoot most of the time because we visited the beach. We walked on the ground. We didn't have marley tiles. We didn't have cement. Our women mixed cow dung, put it on the floor. It prevented the dust. But we walked on Mother Earth, and that kept us in touch with the universe. And he said, so long as you are grounded and you know your roots, you will prosper in life. The famous saying from Appa John, you heard it enough times, and he said, you can go around the world and you will never find a place like Magazine Barracks. Well, Appa John, I think we've now found a better place out of this world in the safe arms of Lord Buddha. And may you be blessed always. But may I ask all our people from Magazine Barracks, if you will not hear us say that anymore, but in all your engagements with all the people in the future, please remember that and repeat it. You will never find a better place than Magazine Barracks. Thank you.
ஒரு பேரும் என்னையாலும் முருகேசா எந்தன் மனமீது வர வேண்டும் என்று நருக எந்தன் மனமீது வர வேண்டும் எந்தன் அருக பச்சை மயில் வாகனே சிவபால சுப்பிரமணியனவா எச்சையெல்லாம் உன்மேலே வைத்து எல்லவும் மயம் இல்லையே முருகா கொச்சி மதியானாலும் கொஞ்சி கொஞ்சி பாடிடுவேன் கொஞ்சி மதியானாலும் உன்னை கொஞ்சி கொஞ்சி பாடிடுவேன் சாட்சியெல்லாம் பறைந்ததப்பா இங்க சாந்தம் இருந்ததப்பா இங்க சாந்தம் இருந்ததப்பா கோவில்ல ஒரு நாள் கந்த சாஸ்திரி பாடினேன் நானே குரு சொன்னார் வந்து ஓ நீ என்ன பீட் பண்ணிச்சியே நான் சொன்னேன் நான் உன்னை பீட் பண்ணேன் குரு நீ என்ன பீட் பண்ண உனக்கு போற்றி உனக்கு போற்றி உனக்கு போற்றி திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm 95. Don't call me Anna. I'm smaller than you. I want to make me sick. I should be very sad for that.
That beautiful dedication was by Amma from the Church Magazine Barracks Temple at 95 years old, still singing so strong. I will now hand you back to our group, and of course we will have a few more speakers as we go on. Thank you so much for your patience.
Tirupati ke boy vande narayuna vande tirunamam padi vare narayuna jai Tirupati ke boy vande narayuna vande tirunamam padi vare narayuna jai Tirupati ke boy vande narayuna vande tirunamam padi vare narayuna Tirumalivasa Vishnu Deva Manuranga Yoganayaka Hari Govinda Hari Hari Govinda Hari Hari Govinda Hari Tirupati ke boy vande narayuna vande tirunamam padi vare narayuna jai Tirupati ke boy vande narayuna vande tirunamam padi vare narayuna jai Tirupati ke boy vande narayuna vande tirunamam padi vare narayuna Ila Vinoda Nanda Nandana Hari Purana Hari Govinda Hari Hari Govinda Hari Hari Govinda Hari Tirupati ke boy vande narayuna vande tirunamam padi vare narayuna jai Tirupati ke boy vande narayuna vande tirunamam padi vare narayuna Maya Rasa Sira Rasa Tagari Om 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 Ding 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 Hari Govinda Hari Hari Govinda Hari Hari Govinda Hari Tirupati ke boy vande narayuna vande tirunamam padi vare narayuna jai Tirupati ke boy vande narayuna vande tirunamam padi vare narayuna jai Tirupati
Yeah.
Our next speaker was unable to be here this afternoon. However, he has sent through a voice note. We have a message from Councilor Tony Governor of Ward 70 here in Chatsworth, and he sent through this dedication to Appa.
Assalamualaikum, Sambanani. Friends, respected guests, our respected elders, all our officials from the Shri Vishnu temple and our communities at large. It is indeed a very, very sad day for all of us today. Firstly, please accept my apology. I'm unable to attend today's funeral services due to us being in Madrid at our Federal Congress. Say, a dark cloud is hanging over our suburb, city and country. The echo of the sudden demise of our legend is stalwart, and our Guru, Appa John Kisten, who turned 91 years last September, has sent shockwaves through our communities, both near and far. My family and I, like many others, have had a close bond with our respected Guru, who used to lead us into our weekly Monday evening prayer at the Shri Vishnu temple in Masti. The service with songs used to end with a short discourse from our Guru, which elevated us spiritually to face the challenges during the week ahead. What stood out for me and my family was our Guru's humility. There was never at any moment that our Guru raised his voice or got angered, no matter whatever the reason or the situation could have been. He would instead sit people down and counsel them in a positive manner. He was indeed a walking encyclopedia who had a thorough knowledge of the trials and tribulations at the magazine Barracks in Somsi Road in Durban. For those who don't know where the magazine Barracks used to be, it is at the same spot where the Durban Magistrates Court and the Central Police Station is at present. Our Guru John Kisten, a beacon of hope and service, has left an indelible mark on our community. From his early days in magazine Barracks, he embodied selflessness, volunteering tirelessly for those around him. Overcoming personal struggles, including a severe chest infection in his teens, Guru John credited his recovery to Lord Muruga's blessing and continued to serve with unwavering dedication. His leadership, patience, and integrity inspired many as he led the temple congregation with love and devotion. A true devotee of Lord Muruga, Guru John's life was a testament to prayer, family, and community. His legacy teaches us to prioritize values, humility, and service. On behalf of Ward 70 and surrounding residents, our Ward Committee and BEC members, we extend our deepest condolences to the Kisten family. May Lord Shiva grant you strength during this difficult period to bear this irreparable loss. We say, Guru Appa John, go well, farewell. You fought a very good fight, and the legacy you leave will be forever remembered by all of us. The inspiration that you have left and taught us, we will cherish forever. We will ensure that we'll continue on the same path as you did. It's been a great loss to us, and we're going to miss you dearly. Go well, Appa. Go well, and may the doors at the abode of Lord Shiva open for you, where you can rest at eternal peace. Nandri Vanakkam.
That dedication by Councilor Tony Governor of Ward 70 in Chatsworth. Now, our next speaker holds a very, very close relationship with Appa John. Her father and Appa John always regarded each other as brothers. And there's not much introduction that one needs when you have that close a relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, I now call upon Ka Mutin, will now pass a dedication on behalf of the Mutin family.
Vanakkam, Namaskaram, Namaste, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is with a heavy heart that I address you this afternoon on the loss we have to bear, that of our Appa, John Kisten. At a time like this, words seem such empty things, as there are certain thoughts and feelings that mere words cannot express. Appa's favorite saying still rings in my mind. The most perfect of created beings is man. The most perfect thing in man is his soul. The most perfect thing in the soul is love. And the most perfect thing in love is sacrifice. These are the words Appa lived by. He made great sacrifices in the community he served. I would like to thank my sisters and family for allowing him to dedicate his life to the community. You were not selfish. Thank you for that. I've known Appa throughout my life's journey. He was a devout Hindu, meticulous in everything he did. A humble man, and above all, a child of Lord Muruga. His life was his offering. He showed us that bhakti means bowing your head and lifting others up. My late dad, Muthalingam Chelan, and Appa shared a bond that is very rare. Growing up, I witnessed firsthand the laughter, adventures, and night chats they shared from the magazine Barracks. Their friendship was built on a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and unwavering support. They had each other's backs through thick and thin, and celebrated each other's triumphs as if they were their own. Appa lived Karma Yoga even before we knew the words. Our dad had to work overtime to supplement their income. Appa accompanied our 7 children, we were very little then, together with our Amma and Big Amma. He did it so that Dad will be assured of our safety while he was at work. He took responsibilities for our family in many instances. He never made it a big deal. He saw the need and he fulfilled it, taking no credit. That was his dharma. While we were in Chatsworth, Appa and Dad's bond grew closer, focusing on the cultural and religious aspects that will benefit our community. They would speak to each other for hours. They started the house service when someone was sick. Dad's blue combi became the service bus, transporting members to the services. Our late Rangamam took over with his van after Dad passed. Everyone from the temple would recall Appa, my dad, and the late Vasi Mutin, who were instrumental in starting the Monday service group. We became one big family. Our temple was one of the first to observe the Kandasasti Kavasam prayer, the Kandasasti prayer in 1987 with my late dad and Appa. Appa took over the reading of the Kandasasti Kavasam after my dad passed. It was read with such devotion, and it is through him that all of us can now recite the book. Singing the song Tiruthaniyal Kodavarakam during our Murugan prayers was the highlight and will always be remembered by all. The congregation waited right until the end to listen and to pray to Lord Muruga during this time. Other observances that they started at the temple was the Shivaratri, Lakshmi prayers, Adiveni prayers every Friday during the month of Adi with the reading of the Mariamman Thalati. Appa, my dad, Auntie Angie, and many others composed songs which we sang at service. The late Mala Lakshmanan composed her first hymn book and CD in 2005, including these composed songs. Appa's favorite composition, Sendal Vadivel, will forever be cherished by many who sing it. The Skanda Purana proclaims, Skanda holds the veil, leads the Deva army and destroyed Tarkasura. Appa lived by that veil. He began each day by reciting the Kandasasti Kavasam. But the real prayer was how he treated people with such humility. He forgave easily, although there were some people that really hurt him. Appa served the community to the fullest. If you praised him, he would join both his hands in prayer and say, "Thank you, it is through Muruga's grace." He believed the veil doesn't just defeat the outer asuras, it destroys the asuras inside us, ego, anger, and pride. Let us continue to live by this. For Muruga's devotees, there is never destruction. By his mercies, our Appa now rests in the shade of Muruga's holy feet. So what do we do now that Appa has left such a void in our life? We honor him by living like him. Be humble, help quietly, remember God daily. The best angali we can give Appa is pick up one piece of his dharma and carry it forward. We do not say goodbye to Appa without hope. We believe that the Skanda Purana teaches us a true devotee attains the Lord. May the six-faced Arumuga lead Appa to moksha. Our faith says he is free from pain in Muruga's presence. Let's take comfort in the knowledge that our bond will live on through the memories he created, the stories he told, and the love he showed. Rest in peace, Appa. Our angels above are rejoicing forever remembered by the children, grandchildren, and your legacy will live on. Om Saravana Bhava.
Sound 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, a special dedication song to our holy Appa, Provider Guru Kisten. If you're talking about Mexican Barracks, we talk about this hymn, Anand and Anandam, because all the musicians in Mexican Barracks sang this song. Thereafter, ladies and gentlemen, we all of us were to rise. We will do the national Tamil anthem in honor and respect to our holy Appa.
ஆனந்தநடமிடும் பாதல் ஆனந்தநடமிடும் பாதல் ஆனந்தநடமிடும் பாதல் உள்ளம் பலவானும் சீதம் ஆனந்தநடமிடும் பாதல் உள்ளம் பலவானும் சீதம்
Ladies and gentlemen, we will do the Vishnu. As you know how the Appa promoted culture, he was a learned Tamarian. So we will do the first funk, composed funk, Subramani Bhartiya. It is one of the first national anthem that was sung and composed by our Tamarians. So we'll ask one and all to please rise. Out of mark of respect, next to the anthem and honor and salute our Appa for his dedication and contribution to our people in South நன்றி வணக்கம் அமருங்கள். Please be seated. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As you've seen, we've had a significant amount of members of the community come forward and pay their respects and give dedications to Appa. We now hand over to the family who have been by Appa's side throughout his dedication and seva towards the community. We now call upon Kiroshni and Devashni Munsami, who will pay a dedication to Appa.
My deepest and humble greetings to one and all. We stand here today with the greatest honor and sadness to deliver a tribute to our dearest Appa, John Kisten. Appa, the epitome of selfless acts of service in serving people, humility, silence is golden, Tamil culture, humane, humorous with funny jokes, wise and resilient. Our journey with Appa began from our childhood days of the magazine Barracks, Shri Vishnu temple. He pushed us to eventually get involved in Kutam by playing the talam, singing hymns, and teaching us Tamil over telephone calls. Little did anyone know, but Appa performed small duties as a grandfather in our lives in supporting us in our achievements and being a part of all of our milestones in life, from puberty functions, birthdays, achievements, and our parents' wedding anniversary. He saw us grow and he contributed to the woman we are today. There was never a day we didn't hear Appa's voice. To consistently calling our mother, the said adopted daughter of his, by talking about his schedule of sharing stories about his days. They always had long conversations about different topics for about 5 times in a day. It will truly be difficult to never hear the phone ring and see his name appear on the screen again. Appa is and will always be remembered as a great man who walked this earth, leaving a mark in all of our lives. His contribution to the Tamil culture expanded in his work of writing, singing hymns, recitals, and mantras. His involvement even led to empowering the youth to participate in the Tamil Aistifit by teaching recitals, poems, conducting a play of his own screenplay and dialogue, reading speeches for an auspicious occasion in front of a crowd on his podium, and having to sing and play instruments in the temple. His legacy lives on and will always be upheld. Though we were not related by blood, but through spiritual connection and God did we become related. In my family, he will be honored as our Guru, a father, father-in-law, a grandfather, and a selfless and helpful soul that had walked apart with us throughout our lives. He will be dearly missed and loved always, but most importantly, he will be remembered. Remembered as an ardent devotee of Lord Muruga for his jokes, his stories with morals, a tea lover, his words of wisdom, his voice, laughter, long phone calls, advice, and the legacy he leaves behind of the Tamil culture. We will cherish the memories and always remember you, Appa. May our soul rest in eternal peace. Om Samaya. As a tribute, we want to sing a small dedication to the praise of Lord Muruga.
We now call upon Appa John's daughter Irene Kisten and Direshni Kisten, who will now pass their dedication to Appa.
Thank you all for being here today to celebrate and honor our father. Appa John Kisten at age was introduced to Lord Muruga by his mother. Today I would like to acknowledge Appa's parents, his brothers, his sisters, his extended family that were all his brothers, cousin brothers, his nieces, his nephews, and at the age of 16, he lost his mother. Unfortunately, he lost his mother to TB. Unfortunately, Appa and his sister also became ill. Appa's family faced many challenges, hardships during this time. Throughout this trying period, his family played a key role in his life. Their love and protection helped him heal and to recover to the age of 91. Appa's struggles with the illness led him to join FOSA. While volunteering at FOSA, he met my mother. They had a 5-year courtship. My parents adored each other. They complemented each other. A rare connection. My mother's patience, my father also patient, but at different times. And in 1963, they married. And you gotta excuse me, I've been traveling for 2 days. I wrote stuff on the plane, so it's all a bit scattered. So today I'd like to take the opportunity to express our gratitude and appreciation. Today we thank his family for molding him into the fine gentleman that we all know as Appa. I would just truly love to really extend that warm feeling of love and protection that they provided for him. And today his sisters are here, and his nieces, nephews, and they have always looked up to him. They have treated him with such dignity and always seeking advice and guidance. They truly admired him in every sense of the word. My father's artistic vision was breathtaking. My sister Christine and I witnessed freehand drawings on styrofoams, engagement rings, storks carrying a baby, names of people's birthdays, weddings, any occasion. The names were in extra large print. It was a wonder to watch. I'm happy to advise that my sister Christine and her son Sabi definitely inherited that gene. So my father had a decorating business, and So my sister and I was his apprentice. We would do any task that was assigned to us, like construction and knocking nails and anything that my father needed to be done. We both were the handy girls. Unfortunately, my brother, Vivian, at age 2, passed away. And my father found it very difficult to continue the business. Then the birth of Sendel brought immense joy to us all. Our parents was over the moon. They doted on him. They loved him from earth to the moon and back. And Appa was always proud of Sendel. Because Sendel continued to shine and achieve a lot of things. Along the way, being a silly teenager and doing things that he shouldn't be doing, but nevertheless, today, he's a bright, beautiful man. And he flies the flag of the Kisten name. Proud of him, proud. The joy continued with the second grandson, Shiraz, a very quiet achiever, I must say, but a dynamite. Then my parents welcomed their third grandson, and he is a little firecracker, that's how I would describe him. My mother said that she was really blessed after having 4 girls to have 3 grandsons, so she loved them. She was proud to take them everywhere. They were so naughty. We would take them to temple. They would make jets and throw into people's hairs and, do all kinds of things that little boys do. But the service members didn't mind it. They were, we were family. Then, after a while, our amazing Nireshni was born. I remember my parents now being, wow, now these 3 boys have a sister. That's going to be fun. And so she would walk around with them and be part of the crew and not be part of the crew. And that was exciting just to watch. It's really heartwarming. Whenever you speak to Niresh, you always say, Anna. Anna, this Anna, that Anna. She has never called them by the names, which is so amazing and warm, and you see that passed on. Our baby Sabir is most like Appa. His mannerisms, the way he carries himself, that's what I've observed. So my parents raised us using proverbs. And I'm sure many of you all have heard many proverbs. And my mother, the famous one that I always think about, she would say, if you give your head to the barber, anything could happen. And I quite never understood what that meant, but I definitely understand it today. My father, he'll always say to us, you only know the value of the sun, the shade when you are in the sun. Let me tell you, I live in a place where the humidity level is 90. So my father is constantly present. Whenever I'm working and I'm like a few minutes in the sun, I'm like, okay, I'll remember my father. As you know, my father, when he married, he took my mother's family under his wing and cared for them. And this is what I would like to say about them. As we grew up, we noticed sharing and caring came so naturally to my family. We witnessed genuine support at times of distress. Our family understood the silent language of loss and pain from a very young age, losing parents, siblings, children. The women in my family, our family, were the pillars holding up everything. They played a significant role in our father's life. Our aunties and uncle, we are forever grateful to our aunties and our uncle. They were like our parents, our mothers and father, for their kindness and caring nature. They just were not like a brother-in-law and sister-in-law. If I look at the relationship, it's an equal to sign. As much as my father gave, they gave much more. So now I'd just like to tell you stories, some stories. Appa would meticulously tape up all the windows and doors and get ready for painting. So he had this pants that was like a navy blue pants and a shirt. And if anyone walked in, you would think, oh, this man must have been painting for a long time. So it was like quite the outfit. But he never really engaged in the task. My sister Christine and I were the painters. He would organize the broom annals and we would get on with the task, never asking why and never even wondering. Years later we realized that when he was younger, he was not well. This made me think about my amazing family and how they protected my sister and I. Imagine if we knew, we would have been always on guard, whenever we were doing anything with my father. But we just got on with the job, not realizing that he couldn't be near the smell of paint. But he did it so smartly. He will get us all organized, take the floor and everything. But we never ever noticed it. And now that I'm older, I'm like, okay. As we got older and realized that he was sick. So we really appreciated our parents, uncles, aunties, that never treated my father that he had such a serious illness. And the thing we got to take back, when he got sick and my aunt got sick, technology wasn't available, medication wasn't available. So can you imagine the sisters and brothers, how they would have rallied? And they were so young, they just lost their mother to nurture the brother and sister to health. Because the sister sits here, 93, 94, and Appa was 90. Can you just imagine? So we are grateful. So my father had 4 favorite daughters, and this is how he would describe it. My sister Christine is like my father. She has all his artistic characteristics and personality, and is a people's person. My sister Lynn always reminded Appa of the woman that he loved, my mother. So he doted on Lynn at times. Janet had the traits of his mother-in-law, a woman that showed kindness beyond words. And then I come to me. My father always said that I was his mother. So, so my father placed this huge F on my head, I believe, because he said I was like his mother. So now, remember, a mother protects her child at any cost, irrespective. So, that's what I did. Trust and truth had no excuses, exceptions. I told it as it was. I didn't hold back. I always had his back, and he could confide in me, and I could confide in him. But like for all the years that I've lived in South Africa, out of South Africa, in Durban, I've always bought him clothes. So I go to this store, and he loves wearing suits, as you know. So I try on the coat. And if the coat is slightly big for me, it fits in. And I've done that for years. And so, so these are the things I did wearing the hat of the mother. I protected, loved, and cared for him, but also told him the truth. Sometimes it was not pleasant, but we got around it. So just wanted to talk about my two nephews, Sendel and Shiraz. There's been many deaths in my family, as you all know, but they always show up and take charge of the situation. Especially, they communicate with each other and execute everything by themselves. And what we don't realize sometimes, the numerous strain that this has had on these young people, because they experienced death at a very young age, started losing mother figures, and I can imagine the pain being unbearable for them. So sometimes we ask ourselves, why do people do the things they do? But sometimes pain cannot be explained. And so I just want to thank them, and I want to say we are so lucky to have them. They just take the reins over and over again. Family brings us comfort in ways, sometimes words don't explain it like that. So we'll close by saying, as much as my father was a community person, he loved the community, I think he loved everyone sitting here, and you all loved him back, so that's such an amazing thing. We, four of us, had a special place in his heart. His sisters, brothers, nieces, nephews had a special place in his heart. His son-in-laws, he always said, my son-in-laws. They're not my son-in-laws, and we would wonder, what is he saying? He said they were my sons. So I think he treated us all with the respect and the love that we needed when we needed it. And we are very grateful and thankful for everything that was done for us throughout his life. He would have had a very trying upbringing in his younger years. And so we reflect back on that, is because that is what Appa really was. Because the struggles that he went through with his family by his side actually delivered to us all this amazing human being. And he was able to give because they gave so much to him. So that's why I once again, wholeheartedly, together with my four sisters, want to thank Appa's family and extended family. Thank you. We are grateful. Thank you.
My loving Vanakkam to one and all. My name is Nireshni Marimathu, and I am the 4th grandchild of Appa John Kisten. I'm also the only granddaughter. That came with a lot of perks. During school holidays, weekends, and as of recent, I have taken occupancy in Appa's room, which meant my shoes, my high heels, my makeup, and my jewelry were all over his room. Not once did he ever complain. I'm so grateful to have spent my younger years in Unit 3 with the wise words of Appa. He definitely instilled our Tamil culture in my cousins and I. I would miss him deeply for always opening the gate for me no matter what time I rocked up there. He was very lenient towards me, and I did take advantage of that. My family and I are overwhelmed with the love and support that we've received from each and every one of you. As you all know, Appa was always present in any funeral, present in any prayer. He was always available. However, behind the scenes, there were people that made that possible. From the moment he opened his eyes to the moment he got home, my auntie Janet Govender and my uncle Norman Govender made sure Appa never had to look for anything. They took the best care of him, which took the pressure off the rest of us. Jan, Uncle Norman, we will forever be indebted to you, and we know that Appa is with you. With that said, I have a message that's from Australia, from my 3rd Anna. So if you could just bear with me.
Storytellers who carry the oral traditions of their people are known as griots. They are living encyclopedias of knowledge, sharing the teachings of everything that came before them, passing their lived experience to future generations, so that those who may follow know where they came from, understand their identity, and find their way forward in the world. It is said that when a griot passes away, a library has burned down. My grandfather was a griot. He made sure that everyone in his community knew the tales of our ancestors, the legacy of our people, of the magazine Barracks, and the community of Chatsworth was founded. By instilling the knowledge of the past in everyone he came in contact with, he built many libraries and ensured that these stories would live long after he had left this world. Today, I know there are many people who will speak about the magazine Barracks, the Shri Vishnu Temple, Foza, Somsi Road, and how my grandfather walked everywhere with purpose, greeted every person in his sight, and how even the smallest interaction with him had the power to change a life. Those stories are in good hands. Instead, today I want to give you an insight into the man I knew personally. The man who taught me duty, faith, and the importance of community and competitors. But above all else, grit and determination. Over the years, I've heard many people describe my grandfather as humble, soft-spoken, quietly mannered. While that is mostly true, my brothers and I had a front row seat to a very different side of him. We got to see the artist, the soccer fanatic, the card shark, the jokester, and the disciplinarian. Yes, Appa did shout, and yes, Sandal, Shiraz, and I probably deserved it. As most of you may know, I spent most of my holidays in Chatsworth, glued to his side, proudly playing the role of Brahmin boy number 2, the Jogak edition. My holidays meant waking up very early to attend every player you could imagine, and turning what should have been a 15-minute trip to Chapter Centre into a 2-hour expedition, as he stopped to greet and speak with every single person who crossed his path. All while Settle and I just wanted to go home and watch Kadlam for the 840th time. But The time I looked forward to the most was the night. That is when the carom board came out, and with it, his stories. From 7 in the evening until 2 in the morning, he would tell us about his playing days, being held up at gunpoint, why I should only support Manchester United, going to Dimes United soccer matches with Uncle Theo, the photo studio with his brother Jack, and his daughter, who each of them reminded him of a person from his past, and how he always listened to my mother because she reminded him of his own mother, and that I should listen to her too. And of course, the love of his life, my grandmother Grace. All while never letting us win a single game, and trash-talking us in the most elegant velvet sledgehammer way imaginable. Boys, this is the last time you'll touch the striker tonight. We had an average age of 6. Like I said, the man was competitive. He filled those nights with stories of family, faith, and what it was to live like through the apartheid era. He challenged us to explore our ancestry, to understand other religions, and to embrace people from all walks of life, believing the wider we cast our curiosity, the richer our understanding of the world would become. And woven through all of this was a line that he came back to, time and time again. One he seemed to say especially for me. Anvin, the wonderful thing about learning is that no one can ever take it away from you. I never fully understand what he meant, what he said, and why he said it so often, until I was much older and I reflected on everything that he had been through. So much had been taken from him throughout his life. His home, his temple, his health through tuberculosis, and the unimaginable loss of his son Vivian at the age of 2. Any one of those would have broken him as a man. But he took those lessons and turned them into a way of persevering, using the knowledge that he had gained to serve others and to strengthen his community. I am here through the grace of Muruga, and as long as I am here, I will do whatever he needs me to do and help whoever needs that help. My grandfather lived an amazingly rich life, full of color and surprises. For example, he had tattoos, not as meek as many people think. We got to see the man away from the pulpit, the man who laminated every single one of our wards, who collected soccer posters, Liverpool ones included, without complaint, who let us raid his hub account every Christmas so we could have Levi's and Nikes, who built us swords to fight each other, and then yelled at us when we fought with them as intended. My grandfather touched many, many lives and helped so many people. He was a true man of the people. But the community that mattered the most to him was the one that lived on 88 Sandalwood Grove, 307 Tracksuit. Grace, Rukaka, Anjana, John, Happy, and Vivian. Today, he's reunited with them forever. I will miss my grandfather deeply, but I know his legacy will live on, because now he will become part of the very stories that this community will tell for generations to come. On behalf of my family, Christine, Irene, Lynn, Janet, Sendel, Shiraz, Nireshni, Sabir, and his great-grandchildren, Ayan and Irene. We thank you all for your love and support as we say goodbye to our Appa. Nandri, Vanakkam.
To Appa, we are so proud to have had the opportunity to be your grandchildren. Your legacy will definitely live on. Thank you for everything that you've done for us.
We love you.
I think a very fitting tribute by the family to Appa John, and that's why we put them right towards the end. You know, as we conclude today, I I'd be failing in my duty to mention somebody that Appa John held very close to him, and that's the late Auntie Mala Lachmanan. And the both of them would sit for hours on end discussing various different topics, especially the Tamil language. And I'm sure the both of them are rejoicing now as they both sit together and discuss all of us here in the presence of them watching over us. And we bid them farewell. The family would also like to let you know that this memorial service will be announced via social media. They will obviously send through all the details via that. Please stay close to it. Also to each and every one of you that made time to be here and support the family, they are humbly grateful to each and every one of you. There are just too many people to thank. I'll be failing in my duty as I stand at this podium. It will take it on memory lane, I think, for a lot of people here, that in the Magazine Barracks temple, as we all refer to it, this was Uncle John's spot. He would do all the funerals, he would tell you what page to turn to, and he would tell you what songs were being sung next. And you know, when I first started giving discourses, I still remember I gave one of my very first at the Magazine Barracks temple, and Appa pulled me aside, and he had this unique way of trying to relate to you, and he said, Thambi, and let me just remind you, there's a massive age difference between Uncle John and myself, and he'd say, Thambi, once you start giving discourses and speaking to people and teaching people, there's one lesson you have to learn, and it's straight out of the Deva. Out of the Tirukkural. It says, Vodhamal Uranamal Irukavendam. Let not one day go past without learning. If there's any message we can learn from him, it's that. I'm going to be handing over to Appa Chris now, who's going to be concluding, and of course with the family. There is a very special song that's going to be sung as the casket sits here and then makes its way out. The song is entitled Teru Tanayam. Now, if you've visited the Magazine Barracks temple, you would know that this song held a very close place to all the devotees there. And if you do know the words, please do join in. This is something you won't do in a funeral, but I think because it's Appa John, bear with me. Vetrivel Muruganukke! Vetrivel Muruganukke! Nyanavel Muruganukke!
Aindu Karatine, Dane Mugutine, Indian Ilipire, Polum Yakine, Nandi Magambine, Yana Kudine, Pundir White, Open Om Namashivaya Varja, Nadankar Varja, Ime Kodum Gentle Nature, Nikana Varja, Bogeriana, Urmanitan Varja, Age Mamajanendu, Anipanta Varja, Yegananagan, Iravan Varja, Welcome Kiritan, the Benjan Adigaga, Director of Significant and Karadaga, Karakuva, Olympic Karadaga, Easternary Poetry, Yendari Poetry, Desonary Poetry, Sivasevani Poetry, Mayatanan General Poetry, Maya Piripu Arkamanari Poetry, Sirar Perun Drainam Devanari Poetry, Arad Ingum Almamari Poetry, Yella Mala, Ireva, in the Irvati Yetam Tevi, Panguni Masum, Tiruvonam Natchatram, Lamamithadi, சனிக்கிழமை மதியானம் நேரம் செல்வர்களின் கிராமம் உங்கள் பிள்ளை காலம் சென்ற கிறிஸ்டனுக்காக இந்த துக்கம் பூஜை இந்த முனுசாமி குடும்பம் ஏற்றுக்கொள்கிறார்கள். உங்கள் பிள்ளை அறிந்தும் அறியாமல் தெரிந்தும் தெரியாமல் தப்ப அவர்கள் செய்திருந்தால் அவர்களை மன்னித்து அந்த நற்கதியம் மோட்சம் சாந்தம் தர வேண்டும். மேலும் இந்த முனுசாமி குடும்பம் அறிந்தும் அறியாமல் தெரிந்தும் தெரியாமல் தப்ப அவர்கள் செய்திருந்தால் அவர்களை மன்னித்து அருள்வாய். ஓம்
வணக்கம்.
Charlie to please come forward. Shavi to please come forward. Govinda, 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 Govinda. Hari Narayana, Jaya Narayana, Jaya Jaya Narayana, Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jaya Narayana, Jaya Jaya Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jaya Narayana, Jaya Jaya
Oh, Norman, don't worry. Yes, yes. Give Irene.